Howdy, this is John Engstrom with TDI Technologies, here today to do a little sneak preview of remedying functionality integration with ConsoleWorks. Right now, we have some business rules set up using the Remedy default database. These business rules can be customized depending on what's needed. But just to give you an example of how things can work, we have it set up so that access to tickets is controlled through a profile that corresponds to a Remedy manager group, and the tickets have to be in the correct state. Right now it's implementation in progress, and the scheduled time frame for the ticket has to be correct. All of this can be customized depending upon what's needed for the business, but for the purposes of this demo, that's the way we have it done. Let me first show you that the profiles in ConsoleWorks are set up, and here we are with a number of profiles. The console manager profile has a UDF of all, which is being used so that it can see all of the Remedy manager groups. Back office support is the back office profile, and front office support is the front office profile. If we move over to Remedy, let's take a look at one of these Remedy tickets. We can see that the manager group right here is front office support, which means front office support or all will have the ability to see it. Now, what we've done for integration is have our list of consoles, and here we have a console called DB Server. Up here we have one called Cisco 35. Those correspond to the vendor ticket number in the Remedy field. So if we take a look at this ticket again, and you look at this vendor ticket number, this is set to DB Server, which means this ticket can be accessed when connecting to the DB Server console. Now let me go ahead and change my profile to back office. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and view the consoles. There are two consoles here, DB Server and Cisco 35. That's all that's visible to this particular profile. And we're going to go ahead and connect to the DB Server console. You'll notice the only connect that's allowed is a controlled connect. That's going to bring up our Java Terminal emulator, and the Java Terminal emulator is set to run our command control script. If you'll notice, remedy auth is the only allowable command control script we can run. So we'll go ahead and type that in, hit return to connect to the console, and it's going to come up and give us a list of tickets. Now you can see there are currently 5 tickets assigned to this console, and only 2 of them are in a workable state. That workable state is indicated by the white coloring of the ticket. If console is in a non-workable state, it's red. Now in this case, we can see that the status of the ticket in Remedy is scheduled for review. That's not a workable state. The first one is implementation in progress. So that ticket was moved to an implementation in progress ticket. So ConsoleWorks gets that information from Remedy and then allows the connection to it. Now we can also look on these other tickets, planning in progress status and scheduled for review. So that's why those are red. If we try to connect to a the console using a ticket that's not an allowable status, we get a message saying the authorized you to connect to this console at this time. Review the ticket if you believe you should have access. That escape will take you out of it, and you can rerun the command to get you back in it. Once again, this will bring up the list of tickets, and let's go ahead and connect to one that is in a workable state. This add drive to partition. It's 402. CRQ 000402. Here's our console prompt. We can see we're working on it. Let's go ahead and do a df command. We can see the drives there. We might want to cat/etc/fs tab. See the drives there, and when we're done, we do our normal disconnect, Control\X, and it's asking us if we want to set the ticket end time, if we have in fact completed our work on this ticket. Let's suppose I haven't done anything, I was just gathering information, so I say N to not set the ticket end time, and I'm returned back to my command control prompt. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ticket here in Remedy. That was ticket 402 right here, add drive to partition. And we open that ticket up and notice that we are going to have a new entry in the work detail, this install results detail. First thing that ConsoleWorks has now posted to this ticket is that the console manager running under the profile back office on this date performed these actions, and that's the list of commands I typed, my df-h and my etc fs tab. Now if we take a look at the date system underneath this ticket, we can see that my actual start date was posted by ConsoleWorks 11/14/2013 at 2:56. That's the time now. If in fact ConsoleWorks, we were prompted and we said yes to that end close ticket, it would have posted an actual end date as well. Now ConsoleWorks will only update this start date field if it's blank. So if it's already been started, it goes ahead and leaves it alone. Something else to look at on this page is our scheduled start date and scheduled end date. 11/14/2013 at noon to 11/29/2013 at midnight. And that's the range during which ConsoleWorks will allow connections. So ConsoleWorks will get the scheduled start and end date range, the ticket will be red, and you cannot connect to it. So now let's go ahead and change profiles. Instead of back office, we'll change to our front office profile, and then go ahead and view our consoles. And our Cisco console has gone away, but we have access to the DB server console. So we will go ahead and connect to our DB server console again. Once again, using a controlled connect. Brings up our JTE, and once again we run our remedy. It's our only allowable command, and it brings up a list of tickets. Now if you'll notice, there's only 2 tickets here, and one is workable, one isn't. Whereas in our other profile we had access to, for example, ticket number 401, which was worked. The reason this only has 2 tickets is because this profile is set as the manager group for these 2 tickets. Let's go ahead and go back to Remedy. We can see that we can connect to ticket 301. So if I take a look again at 402, which we had worked before, you can see that the manager group was back office support. We've changed to the front office profile, and front office profile here in ticket 301, it's available right there as our manager group. So that's what's being used to determine the connection to tickets. So if we go back to our JTE connection, you can see that once again there's two tickets. One of them you can work, one of them you cannot. Here's an example. Remedy is saying that the status of this ticket is implementation in progress, which means we should be able to work it. However, the schedule start date isn't until 11/18, and that is 4 days from now. So we are not within the window of 11/18 through 12/16, so therefore the ticket is not available to be worked. And once again, if we try to connect to it, we get the message saying, hey, you can't connect to the ticket, please review it. However, this ticket is available. We can go ahead and connect to this ticket. Database requires more table space. Once again, it connects us up to our ES4 build console, which is the console that's defined as DB server, and we can check for space on our disks and whatever else we need to do to increase our table space. For example, we can do a ls-o/proc. Not that that would necessarily be used to increase table space, but as an example of a command. Once again, we're done with it. We issue our disconnect. Asks us if we want to set the ticket end time. I'm going to go ahead and set the ticket end time on this ticket so that we can, in fact, see that ConsoleWorks posts the start and end time to this ticket. So we'll go back over to Remedy, and we'll take a look at our ticket. Unfortunately, Remedy does not automatically refresh, so we're going to have to go back and reopen here. And we can see in our date system the start date and the end date was just a few seconds later. I issued those two commands. We can go into our work detail. We can see that the console manager connected, and we can see the commands that he issued when he connected. Now finally, I'd like to show you an example of using the console manager profile that's set up with all as its UDF field, which our script is interpreting as any manager group. So come over here and view consoles. Not only can we see all the consoles, but if we try connecting to our DB server, and once again running our Remedy off command control script, we now have access to all of the tickets. The more table space ticket that we saw from the front office profile, the add drive to partition that we saw from the back office profile. All of these are viewable, and in fact, the restart mid-tier service daemon ticket. So this pretty well concludes our demo. Certainly if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. And as I said before, all of the business logic and business requirements are customizable as far as when tickets are allowed access, what console they allow access to, whether or not start and end times will get filled out, whether or not it should honor the ticket schedule start and end time. So this is just one example of setting up the integration with Remedy. Thank you very much and have a good day.